Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10 and Text 36. Tatra tatra ha tatra tatra atyair. Oh. Harihi pradyut arhanaha sayam bheje disham paschad kavishto gam gatastata. We can repeat after. Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. You have the verse. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed and worshipped and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites, and this was regularly observed after sunset. So, we can repeat the verse we have. 110:36. Tatra tatra ha tatra tyair pradyuta hari pradyuta arhanaha sayam bheje disham paschat gavishtaha gam gada tada. So, okay, we can read word to word meaning. Tatra tatra, in different places. Ha, it so happened. Tatra atyahi, by local inhabitants. Harihi, the personality of Godhead. Pratyudyata arhanaha, being offered presentations and worshipful regards. Sayam, the evening. Bheje, having overtaken. Disham, direction. Paschat, western. Gavishtaha, the sun in the sky. Gam, to the ocean. Gataha, having gone. Tada, at that time. Okay, translation I have read. I'll read the purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. It is said here that the Lord observed religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. There are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under obligations of fruitive action, but actually this is not the case. It does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But he descended on earth, he acts for the protection of devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duty, still he does everything so that others may follow. That is the way of actual teaching. One must act properly himself, teach same to others. Otherwise no one will accept one's blind teaching. He is himself the awarder of fruitive results. He is self-sufficient. Yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scriptures in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in the advanced stages, when one can understand the transcendental nature of Lord, but does not try to imitate him, this is not possible. The Lord in human society does what is the duty of everyone, but sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to be imitated by the living beings. His acts of evening prayers, as stated herein, must be followed by the living beings, but it is not possible to follow his mountain lifting or dancing with the gopis. One cannot imitate the sun, which can exhaust water even from filthy place. The most powerful can do something which is all good, but our imitation of such acts put us into endless difficulty. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress will be assured. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. Okay. Om Ajnanate Varandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shriram Yena Tasmaya Shri Gurave Namaha. So, Srila Prabhupada. Actually, Prabhupada makes interesting points here, many interesting points. And deep points. And every point has, every point can be developed into a book. And that's what many of the commentators and Srila Prabhupada again and again emphasizing in Srimad Bhagavatam. And one point which Prabhupada starts in this purport is that Krishna is also observing religious principles while he was on the journey. So, even on the journey, he is following all rules and regulations so that people can see him and they don't avoid their own duties. Because it is said, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yad yad acharati shreshtas, tat tat evatara jana. What leaders follow, people who are with them, they automatically tend to follow. So, even in our, I mean to say, an advanced devotee does not live life for himself. A new devotee, he lives life for himself. So leaders and people who are guiding others, they should understand that whatever action they are doing, it's not for themselves, it is for others also. Everybody is watching you. We are never unseen. So God is watching. There are, if 10 things are watching you always, according to Bhagavatam. You can't do sin. If you can always remember that. What's that? Sun in the day. Even if you're inside, sun can watch you, It's not that. Sunlight. Moon in the night. Air, water, earth, fire, ether. This is 7. 10 directions. All 10 directions, they're watching you. And demigods and Krishna. So 10, you are under, it says that CCTV, it is said. Here you have CCTV?
Closed caption.
No, that,
Circuit television.
that surveillance. You under supervision. So that's it, we are always under supervision. Because upadrishta anumantacha. This is God realization. If we can always remember that Krishna is watching us, that is God realization. Prabhupada says in one of his lecture that we like to see Krishna, but when we can realize that Krishna is seeing us, then you are advanced devotee. So Bhima was there and he couldn't do Ekadashi. Like so one of his name in Bhagavad Gita is, what's the name used for him in first chapter? Vrikodara. Just like Arjuna is called Sabyasachi, because he can shoot arrows by both hands. So he's called Guddakesha also. Bhima is called Vrikodara. Vrik means big. Udara means stomach. He has his big stomach. He has insatiable hunger. In lunch, Bhima used to eat some 1,000 kilos of bananas. You can imagine. You can't even imagine. Some tons of milk. That was his lunch. Tons of milk and then all dishes, rice and tons of rice. And even after eating that, his stomach is like not even 1 centimeter like bloated. It's the same stomach. Because he had big Agni, can digest everything. So Bhima, he was told by Vyasadeva to observe Ekadashis. And he can't do. So Vyasadeva, Bhima told, see, I can't do. I'll die. So Vyasadeva told, okay, 1 Ekadashi in a year you have to do. That is Bhima Ekadashi, Nirjal Ekadashi. Yeah, that is Bhima. So Vyasadeva told, you do Nirjal. One day in a year you don't drink water. Told, okay, fine, I'll do that. So what he did, but when that Ekadashi came, he was going crazy, without water. So he devised a plan. He thought, I'll go to Yamuna. I'll take bath. When I go inside, then I'll drink water. Nobody can notice, if you're taking bath. So he went and as soon as he went inside Yamuna, he was planning just to gulp. And as soon as he was planning, Krishna came right inside that. And Krishna told, Bhima, stop. I'm seeing you. Don't drink water. And that's how he could do his Nirjala Ekadashi. Sometimes he used to eat food on Ekadashi and then vomit it out. So that's also you can do Ekadashi like that. We can't do, but when he used to vomit out, it didn't used to come as vomit. Like same prasad is there. You eat rice, dal, everything, and then when you vomit, everything same. It's same. He can do that. He's having mystic powers. He's Krishna. Krishna has 64 qualities. Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Devotion, his devotees have at least 55 qualities. 55 of Krishna's. What about the rest? Rest we can't have because other qualities are omnipotent, omniscient, that living entities cannot have. So that is Bhima. So people are watching us. Everybody is watching us. To do sin is to... it proves that we don't have God realization. We don't have God realization. Because we think that nobody is watching us. There was one devotee actually in South India. You know about Vyasa Tirtha, Madhva Sampradaya? There's a big devotee, Vyasa Tirtha. He's one of the very famous, just like our Sampradaya Prabhupada, their Sampradaya is Vyasa Tirtha. He revived Madhva Sampradaya. So he had a disciple, Kanak Das. So Kanak Das was not from a very high family. So his godbrothers used to not like him because his godbrothers are Brahmanas. And so the people didn't used to like him. But Vyasa Tirtha knew that he's a very, very advanced devotee. Although he's not from high family. He was not allowed to enter temple and he had a hut outside. Just like Haridas Thakur our. So he was almost like that. He was not a Muslim but he was our. So people used to envy him. But Vyasa Tirtha, no, yes, he is perfect devotee. And so Vyasa Tirtha thought, okay, let me show to these people that how elevated he is. So he called all his disciples, even Kanak Das, and he told you all take this banana, he gave banana to everybody, and go somewhere and eat this banana where no one is seeing you. Or somebody went in the closet, somebody went in the basement, somebody went in the mountains and ate that banana when nobody is seeing them. Somebody went in the cave and then everybody came back and Kanak Das also came but he had the banana with him. He cannot eat. So everybody was laughing, come on, he's fool, he even cannot eat banana, or he'll do devotion. So Vyasa Tirtha asked, Kanak, why didn't you eat? Kanak Das told, see, I couldn't find any place where Krishna is not watching me. Everywhere I go, as soon as I was trying to eat banana, I could see Krishna everywhere. Vyasa Tirtha told, see, this is God realization. So that's the point. As we serve Krishna, Prabhupada explains, neophyte devotee, he sees Krishna in temple. Only. Deities only. But advanced devotee, he can see Krishna everywhere. He can see Krishna everywhere. He's Krishna Consciousness. That is called Krishna Consciousness. Krishna Consciousness is to be conscious of Krishna everywhere. That we sing, no? Ito Narsimha. Oh, by the way, actually, I just wanted to mention that it is not Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha. It is Ito Narsimho, Parato Narsimho. It is, if you see songbook, that pronunciation. So, but Narsimha Bhagavan is everywhere. He is within heart. Bahir Narsimha, Hriday Narsimha. This verse is helping us to understand what is the consciousness of Prahlad Maharaj. Entire story of Prahlad Maharaj in Bhagavatam is to help us realize that a devotee is perceiving Krishna everywhere. So Krishna consciousness has two meanings. One is to be conscious of Krishna everywhere. Second meaning is that Krishna is conscious of us at all times. Even if we are not conscious, he is conscious. He is not absent-minded, no. He become absent-minded. He can see. So that is Upadrishtanumanta. Krishna is watching us. Now the point is, that is why Krishna is observing all these religious principles regularly on the journey. Because when Krishna was here, everybody was watching him. And he knew if I don't do my activities properly, people will be ruined. People follow Krishna, no? That is why Krishna also offered Shraddha. You know Shraddha? That to ancestors. And even Bhagavatam says, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Pandavas went to offer Shraddha, ancestors. Lord Chaitanya, he went to Gaya. Gaya, you go to Gaya place and you offer ancestors. But to us, what we should do? Should we offer or not? Krishna is doing, Pandavas are doing, great devotees are doing. Should we do or not? We should do. We can. Now Prabhupada says we should not. No, that example is given. Tree, root, and if you offer that water, entire trees, everything gets water. Prabhupada mentions so much time that you should not offer your Shraddha to ancestors, offerings to ancestors, because they are automatically satisfied by your devotional service. That's what is our understanding. But the question is why we should not offer. Lord Chaitanya is doing, he is acting as a devotee. Lord Chaitanya came and acted as a devotee and teaching us devotion. If he is doing, if Pandavas are doing, now Krishna is also doing all these religious duties, Sandhya Vandanam and all these, it is said in the evening. So why in ISKCON we are not doing all these things? And in fact, Madhva Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, they argue with us. They criticize ISKCON. See, Krishna is doing in Bhagavatam, he is teaching us all the evening and morning rites. So evening rites, they have to do certain small yajna, all these peoples, and that is technically called as Sandhya Vandanam. So it take, like we chant Gayatri, but Sandhya Vandanam is a big process which all Brahmanas and all people who are following Vedic culture, they do morning and evening, sunset, sunrise. Yes, yeah, like that. So it takes around an hour. Like you do Anganyas, Karanyas, there's an elaborate ritual everybody has to do. Krishna is doing. So those people do. But we don't do. Why? What's the point? I mean to say, are we not following Srimad Bhagavatam? Prabhupada is saying that Krishna came to teach all of us. So, yes. Because Prabhupada mentions in his purport of Dhruva Maharaj. When Dhruva is there, so Dhruva, he went to forest, and Dhruva as a child, he didn't know what to do, how to worship Krishna. So Krishna sent Narad Muni to Dhruva. We all know, no? And Narad Muni comes and Narad Muni tells Dhruva, you worship Krishna, this is your mantra, go to forest, make a small deity with sand, worship that. And he gives some elaborate process. Dhruva goes, and then he, of course, in forest you don't find Achman cup and you don't find that. So he was doing a little bit puja. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that it is not necessary to do rituals as it is in emergency situations. So Dhruva was in a time, place, circumstance where nothing was available. He made out of sand, and he was offering some flowers out to that deities of sand, and praying like that, no? Just like that, just verbally. That's what he was doing morning, evening. But his worship was accepted by Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, no, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. If you offer me a simple leaf, I am satisfied. But of course, now time, place, circumstance, that's a point. I mean to say, you can have your dal, chawal in your kitchen, but you're offering some small leaf. Because Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. That happens in India, by the way. India, people have small Krishna with them, deities. So in India, system is they offer some makhan, butter, and sugar to Krishna. That's all. And they are eating all kind of foodstuffs. And then you ask, why do you do that? Because Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Tuyam. I am satisfied even by a small leaf. But there's a point there in that verse. What's that verse? Everybody knows. Patram Pushpam Phalam Tuyam. Yome Bhaktaya Prayachati. Tadam Bhakti Upirtam Ashnami Prayata Atmana. Krishna says, anybody who offers me a leaf, some water, a flower or fruit with devotion, I accept it. But the next line is, Tadham bhakti upratam, I accept it. Tadham bhakti upratam ashnami prayat atmana, I eat it prayat atmana, that's the word. Prabhupada writes, with full sincerity and endeavor. Prayat atmana means effort. So devotee tries his best for Krishna, but if circumstances don't allow, no problem. Just like suppose you're traveling. Krishna is traveling, no? So suppose you're traveling on a train. So what do? Should you do Mangal Arati or not? There's no deities, nothing, no Arati. So what should you do? Yeah, so get up and sing. That's all. And Krishna will accept it. Because Krishna is everywhere. But here you can't do. You get up in the room and sing. I'm doing Mangal Arati. You understand? So Prabhupada writes in that purport to Dhruv Maharaj that this now is Kali Yuga. It is an emergency situation. It's emergency, no? So you have to preach. People are going to hell. You can't just sit in a home morning 1 hour, evening 1 hour and do rituals and you can see people going to hell. That is not a sadhu. Sadhu's only quality is para-upkar. He is distressed by seeing distress of others. That's the most important quality of sadhu. You know? I mean to say all people around us, they have all good qualities. Many people talk nicely, behave nicely, and their conduct is good, their behavior is good. But one quality differs from them and saints. People do not become distressed on distress of others. And even if they become distressed by seeing distress of others, they don't take any action. They can console. Oh, no problem, this thing bad happened, but who helps anybody? A saint is not like that. Saintly people get distressed by seeing distress of others, and saintly people can recognize the root of distress. That's the point. So because saints, they know that without God, life is miserable. So they can exactly recognize that these people are actually happy outside, but miserable inside their hearts because they are not connected with God. By their own experience, they can experience others. That's a saint. So that's what Prabhupada says, that we don't do so many rituals. We don't do. We save time for helping others. That's more important. To help ourselves is selfishness. Just to think about ourselves, that's selfishness, no? And devotion is all about selflessness. It's not selfishness. So that is why Prabhupada, our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did rituals, even though Krishna did rituals, we don't do, because Prabhupada writes in Gita that devotees are more merciful than God. Prabhupada writes. In which purport Prabhupada writes? Any idea? Bhagavad Gita? It's a purport.
Also first chapter.
Okay, which verse?
Krishna is saying not to disturb.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in chapter 18 also. Chapter 18, Krishna says, Na tapaskaya, people who don't have austerities, people who are new, don't distribute them Krishna consciousness. Don't disturb them. Don't give them Krishna consciousness. Give Krishna consciousness to my devotees. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Krishna says, don't disturb them, don't give them devotion. But devotees are more merciful. But anyway, the question is, how can devotees be more merciful than God? That's another question. God is all merciful. So how can devotees be more merciful than God? It seems odd, no, to think about that. All mercy is coming from God.
Prabhupada said once that, like a father, he may not buy himself a gift, but he may want that thing. So the child, if someone affectionate towards him, will buy it for him.
For the child?
Yeah, the child may know that the parent wants something, but the parent would never buy it for themselves. So then the child takes the parent's money and buys it for them.
Okay, like that. Yeah. Yeah, Prabhupada gives. Yeah, this is a good example. Yeah, you can say like that. Yeah, this is good. So, so even though Krishna doesn't want, devotees can understand the mind of God. And it happens, it happens if you, so just like if you have girlfriend, boyfriend, so girlfriend will say, I don't want. But actually boyfriend understands, she wants, She's just saying externally, I don't want. Just to want actually. It happens like that, no? That's psychology. So if boyfriend tries to advance, girlfriend says, no, I don't want to just be with you now. But boyfriend understands, she actually wants, she desires that. That's the point. If you love Krishna, you can understand his mind. So Prabhupada loved Krishna. Prabhupada knows that when Krishna is saying don't distribute, actually he wants that we should distribute. He wants we should distribute. And why he is not doing himself? Because he wants to give credit to his devotees. So, in spite of him saying don't do it, he wants devotees to do it so that devotees get all credit. Yes, my devotees are more merciful than... Krishna wants to hear this statement, my devotees are more merciful than me. He likes that, no? If Krishna is God, he is also... If he is most powerful, he is most humble. Isn't it? Who can be more humble than Krishna? Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion, Krishna is the best cheater. He can even cheat cheaters.
I think humility and subtlety are what I think is the reason that devotees are more merciful than God.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he works through
That's
them,
true. Yeah, that's true.
by himself.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a point, yeah. That's why devotees are merciful. So we learn all humility by Krishna. Krishna is the most humble. So Krishna wants to give all credit to his devotees. He wants to hear, just like father wants to see his son go become more greater than him. Every father wants. So Krishna, all merciful father, he wants to see all of us be more merciful than him. And that is why Prabhupada says devotees are more merciful. So that is why, even though Krishna is observing all rituals of the evening, and it takes 1 and 1.5 hours, we don't do rituals, we don't do Sandhya Vandan, we are simply on the streets distributing Krishna consciousness. That is much, much, much superior to sitting in temple doing Yagya Swaha and Anganyas Karanyas. I have seen many people doing rituals in South India. I've studied 6 years in South India now. And you know what? Now it's Kali Yuga. People sit in evening and then they're doing Anganyas. Vedic chanting. And they're chanting Om Sahasra Shirsa Sahasra Purusha, all these Purusha Shukta and Anganyas. And then they're chanting, they're doing this, and their cell phones here. They're watching and doing. Because it's becomes a system, no? When it becomes mechanical, you can simultaneously do these things and watch your cell phone. You can do that when it comes in the habit. That's happening there. And then as soon as all rituals are finished, all of them go out in their mat and they play carom board and chess. It's all life is going on. So that's why Mahaprabhu tells us, forget these rituals. It's out. Nobody can. Yeah.
Is it wrong to chant and simultaneously do other things?
It's not ideal.
Okay.
We should not do that. We should give our all time, exclusive time to chanting. That's the best. That's Krishna, no? Holy name. So, this is one point we should always remember. So like this you can argue to people. Prabhupada says it is emergency situation. You have to preach. That's what Krishna likes. Even though Krishna is doing himself. And that's why Prabhupada says here, in all actions, experienced guide is required, who is manifested mercy of the Lord. He can tell us what to do, what not to do. What activities of Krishna we should imitate, what activities of Krishna we should not imitate. Even though he is doing all these things in the present age. Acharyas can adjust. We cannot. So when powerful servants of Lord come, they understand Krishna, what he wants, and they adjust situations, and that's how. Prabhupada in one of his letters he writes, some Mataji, she asked how to take care of Tulsi. Some points. She was asking, should we cut Tulsis by using by hand, by scissors, or knife, something like that. Some questions. So what Prabhupada answers. Prabhupada says, apply your common sense. If you don't have common sense, ask somebody else. Ask some devotees. He writes like that. So, of course, this common sense, how to adjust things, powerful devotees can do. If we start doing all these adjustment, then there can be problems. People who know mind of God, they can do. Just like Prabhupada changed so many things in America for Americans. Like Prabhupada gave Gayatri Mantra to Matajis. It's not allowed in Vedic culture. Indians, if you go to India, people criticize a lot. They say, how can Prabhupada give Gayatri to females? It's not allowed. But Prabhupada can do. And so there's a rule. For higher religious principles, you can forego lower religious principles. It is a rule in Dharma Shastras. That's the first rule taught in Dharma Shastras. Okay, you're reading all religious principles, no problem, but always keep in mind, for higher things you can forego lower things. For higher taste, you can forego lower taste. That's the principle. So for higher principle, that is preaching, you can leave lower principles. But for preaching, we cannot leave chanting. That's not the good way. Many people do like that. We are preaching, so I don't find time to chant my rounds properly. It happens, no? In ISKCON life. And somehow they'll finish their rounds. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, and it's finished. But I'm preaching. So is that good? Now, how do you decide, like what to leave, what not to leave, how to balance? It's difficult, no? How to balance? So Prabhupada says in one of his letters, I have given all instructions in my book and all hints. Prabhupada has given everything. But half knowledge is very dangerous. That's why Prabhupada said, read all my books. Because if you don't read all my books, there will be problems. In India, people are, I don't know about America, but in India, devotees, they bring food from outside, cooked food, and they offer it to Krishna. Like this congregation programs. So they bring samosas and kachoris, whatever, and they offer to Krishna and they take. Now, their logic is that time, place, circumstance. And we don't have time to cook. We all are meeting. So all these Bhakti Vikasa programs, we all meet, we don't have time, so better buy from outside, offer to Krishna and take. Is it right? It is a disease in ISKCON. In America this happens? America, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean to say, nobody's cooking kachori and samosa outside. Yeah, it doesn't happen. But India is happening, and so why? Because the logic is that it is time, place, circumstance. You have to adjust things. But the argument is, you can't adjust things by your own speculations. Adjustments are already made by Prabhupada. Just like Prabhupada has made this adjustment, no need to do rituals. Preach. Okay, fine. We are doing that. Okay, but Prabhupada never made an adjustment. You get a food from outside and offer to Krishna and take. That's not there in any of the books. Prabhupada always said that make yourself. Cooking, Prabhupada said cooking is the best devotional service. One of the best. Because in chanting, Hare Krishna, your voice is engaged in Krishna. Your voice. Your probably hand is engaged in Krishna, beats. But legs, nose, eyes, they are not engaged. At least for our platform, we're closing eyes, nothing is engaged. But cooking, all senses are engaged. Your hand is engaged, your eyes are engaged, your nose is engaged. nice smell of when you're cooking. Your tongue is engaged. You taste prasad. Your legs, everything. So Prabhupada said cooking is one of the best services for Krishna. And you see in Golok, people are cooking, no? Yashodama is cooking for Krishna. Gopis, Golok, every time it's prasad. That's all is happening there, cooking. Radharani is cooking in the morning. She comes from her home to Krishna's home and she cooks for Krishna. Because Yashodama wants Radharani to come. She has got a blessings, no, Radharani. Whatever she cooks, that'll be the best taste. She got blessings of the Rasamuni. Yashodama calls. In the evening, Radharani cooks. Again, she sends food. In the afternoon, Yashodama is cooking. She's sending. It's always eating. It's dancing. Every step is a dance. Every day is a festival. Every moment is a feast. That is what is Golok, Brahm Samhita. So why they are cooking? Because that's one of the best services. So, my point is, if you want to understand this verse, this point you have to understand. For higher religious principles, you can forego lower religious principles, but this adjustment can be only done by acharyas, by powerful devotees. We have to read their books and understand how much we can delete and how much we cannot delete. What to delete, what not to delete. That we have to understand. Prabhupada mentions this point here. Therefore, in all actions, experienced guide, spiritual master is needed. And that is why we need spiritual master. If we don't have spiritual master, we don't know what to do. Even if we have all books. It is said, religion without spiritual master can make you irreligious. Religion without spiritual master will lead to irreligion. Because many people can read these books and then they can become terrorists. That's happening now. There's Islam, there's ISIS. You know ISIS? They don't understand the Quran. Quran is not about killing people, no. It's not about killing people. Quran is about peace. But they have misconstrued for political reasons. They are using that book and killing people. So by religion has made them fanatic killers in the name of religion. Same religion. So same books, we can read Bhagavatam and we can become a demon. It can happen like that, seriously. What about crusades? Christianity, what about? They killed so many people because of they were reading Bible and this is this, nothing else, and kill. And why? Because
that was more because of the spiritual leaders, though.
Yeah, because I understand. But spiritual leaders, they didn't have their spiritual leaders. Yeah. That's the point. They have their own speculation.
They were lacking
Yeah. So, but they're not accepting the knowledge which is coming in the line. So many saints, nice saints are there. So that's the point. We have to accept guidance of the whole lineage. You have to understand that. And then religion will help you to advance. So sometimes good produces bad. That's the point. Sometimes bad can also produce good if you're intelligent. If you're intelligent enough. So that's one point what Prabhupada is making in this purport. And another point which Prabhupada makes is, there are certain philosophical speculations that even Lord is under obligations of fruitive actions. This is the next statement. So I just commented on the first statement. This is the next statement. And Prabhupada, there's a philosophy that when God comes on this earth, He is obligated to follow all the rules of scriptures. Like Krishna came, because he's also under laws of karma. People say that. He's born, he's not there, so he has to follow. If he doesn't follow, he also incurs sinful activities. There are some philosophers, and Karam Kandis, they say like that. Like, for example, they say Krishna stole clothes of gopis. He's a thief. So he'll get sins and he has to suffer for that. There's a philosophy like that. Now, Prabhupada says, these kind of people actually exist. So, well, what about that? Prabhupada says, actually this, of course we can all understand that's all foolishness. Krishna is not obliged to follow anything. In Bhagavatam it is said, great people who are liberated, they are not obliged to follow any rules, regulations. They can forego. Just like Lord Shiva, he drank poison. Lord Shiva drank poison. Nothing happened to him. Now if we drink poison, we'll die. So great people can do so many things which in our vision might look wrong, but actually it is for the benefit of the society. It can happen like that. People who are very advanced people, because from a tiny brain we cannot understand what those people are doing. We can't understand what those people are doing. For example, Pashuram. Pashuram, he killed everybody on this earth. All Kshatriyas. Millions and millions of people he killed. So what do you say? Is it good? He's a fanatic terrorist? Pashuram, Lord Pashuram. We can think like that. But there's a difference. He was doing for the benefit of earth, because at that time all kings became corrupted. All of them. And he could see that. And they were using religion to do bad things. So there was no option except to kill them. To make earth a peaceful situation. Sometimes you have to punish people, no? So he did that. So, you can say, is there no other solution? He's God. He knows what to do. Just like Mahabharata, Krishna killed so many people. Why? He doesn't know what he's doing. He knows.
It seems to follow humanity in the same sense that we have become more forgiving over the centuries. You can see the same thing in the Bible too, when God flooded the world.
When God?
When God flooded the world.
Yeah, flooded, yeah. Same thing, yeah. Yeah, same thing, yeah.
And is it not more of an evolution of our mercy as human, like as the human race?
Yeah,
as opposed to like an angry God, like.
Yeah, I can understand that's the point in Christianity. But point is, as humans, we have to learn mercy. We don't have to punish. That's not our job.
Right.
Just like a father is there and you have 4 brothers. If father has 4 children, brothers. So now if a child does something wrong, it's not the duty of the brother to punish him.
Right.
It's the duty of father. He will decide what to do with him. Our duty is to forgive. He will understand when to punish and when to forgive. Because punishment is also required sometimes. If they're criminals and if you keep on forgiving them, what happens? Yeah, this is a complete nonsense. It will become chaos. So, forgiveness is good, but not always good. You have to understand that. At the same time, we can't punish people. It's not in our hands. It is in the hands of God. So angry God, it's not a good thing to say. Because Prabhupada says, Lord is absolute, everything done by Him is good for everyone. His anger is also good. Just like a father slaps child, and the child thinks Papa is bad. And then mother scolds the child, and then child thinks Mama is bad, They are not good. They are always scolding me. In America, children can sue with their parents, no? And that's I mean to say there can be some extreme cases where parents are torturing students, their children. But in general, every parent wants the welfare of the child, It is said in scriptures, parents are best friends. Always be with them. A child can think bad about mother, but mother can never think bad about his child. It's said in scripture. They can never even imagine. And so you sue that you're suing your parent. That's complete. That's why in America children are lost, They're lost, they are disturbed, No, they don't find anybody trustworthy, There's no trust in anybody because they've left people who were thinking about their welfare, So that culture is there in America. It's like that. But India, that's not the culture. India, even if you're 60 years old, your parents will be taking care of you. It's like that. Even if you're 50 years old, your mama will come and she will ask, do you want anything, my child? It's like that. But America, it happens, it will be a headlines, Some parent is asking their 50 years old child, do you want anything? And it doesn't happen like that. So, sometimes when mother punishes a child may think wrong, but parents know it is required. Otherwise, he'll get on wrong path. That is why angry God, bad God, that's not a good way to think like that. His anger is good. When his anger touches people, it is for the benefit of the people. He knows when to do, when not to do things. That's what Prabhupada says. Lord is absolute. Everything done by him is good for everyone. Even when God kills, that is for the benefit. Because anybody killed by God, he's liberated. Simple. He's liberated. Yeah.
You mentioned, Prabhu, about from Maury's question or point that the Crusades are mostly perpetuated by the so-called spiritual leaders. So how can we understand who's a spiritual leader worth following?
Yeah.
Because many people thought, well, this is a good idea, we should go along with it.
Yeah, so the point is, that's why we have three things. Spiritual leader, sadhu and books. So people at that time, they had blind faith in popes. They were not allowed to read Bible at that time. Bible was not out, only that was Pope's prerogative. And that's why people got confused, And probably that's why they didn't want people to read Bible, If they read, then they can clearly understand, what they are doing, It's papacy, they are trying to control. So that's why it's always three things. Sadhu, Guru and Shastras. Books, leader and saints. I mean, if you read Bible, Elijah, and all these big saints. Elijah, you say Elijah? What is Elijah? They are great saints. If you can read about them, they didn't want violence. Definitely. Christianity is all about you forgive. That was the first dictum. So that was a problem there. So, that's the first point. And that's what Prabhupada mentions here. And Prabhupada makes one point. One must act properly himself and teach the same to others. This is very important for us, all of us. Especially in a community. In a community, that's very important. If you're living alone, no problem. You can act something, do something, and absolutely no problem. But when we are in temple in community, we have to understand what we speak, we should act. What we act, we should speak. Otherwise, nobody is going to follow us. We can't help people. Because if you don't follow something and if you speak, there'll be no force in your words. If you can speak, but there'll be no conviction. And if we simply follow and don't speak, then there will be also a problem. People will say he's doing everything on his own and he doesn't guide us. That also happens. It's both ways, you'll be in trouble. So we have to do both. We have to follow and speak. Then it's effective. Like Prabhupada. Prabhupada was doing. Whatever he was doing, he was speaking. He didn't say anything which he was not doing. That's why Prabhupada said, do as I am doing. Do as I am doing. Just try to do what I am doing. Your life is perfect. Even at the age of 70, Prabhupada, when he went to New Vrindavan, Virginia, he took, you know what, he saw devotees are not getting up from Mangal Aarti. Many devotees, because it was so cold. I think it snows there, no? West Virginia up there. So it was snowing. So Prabhupada saw what was happening. So Prabhupada, he got up at 4 o'clock. He went outside. He took bath with cold water in front of everybody. And then devotees realized, what's happening. We are not getting from Mangal Aarti due to cold. We have to take bath. And then everybody started going. At that old age to take bath with cold water, it's very risky. In fact, for a person who had 2 heart attacks. If you get 3rd heart attack, you can't live. That's medicine. Prabhupada did no problem. No problem. He did to teach others. So we have to be careful. We should follow. Just by following, you can inspire people. You don't even have to speak. That also happens sometimes. People, when I was doing book distribution, I was in India, so we had a book distribution party, all Americans, and I was an Indian, one person. So we were distributing books door to door. We had a van, and we were traveling in van. And as Americans, those devotees, they had a habit of drinking cold drinks. It was so hot in India, no? So you can't really, your body is tuned. So they were getting cold drinks and chocolates, and it's not allowed. We don't drink cold drinks and chocolates. So I was there with them. So I didn't tell them anything. I told, in fact, I used to bring for them chocolates and cold drinks. I used to say, okay, I'll bring, no problem. Don't worry about that. And the best chocolates and best cold drinks. And I knew it's all complete trash. You should not eat chocolates, first of all. It's caffeine. It's prohibited for us. So, but I used to bring for them. But I didn't take. So we were there, I have a book distribution. After 20 days, they realized what's happening, I am the person who's bringing. I am the person who's serving, and I'm not taking. And then after 20 days, they asked, Prabhu, what's happening? You don't take. I told, the point is, it's prohibited by Prabhupada. That's why I don't take. But you take, no problem. You take, eat. And then after 1 month, they became so, what can we say? उसको क्या कहते हैं? Sharam, so conscious about this fact, and very so it was, they didn't feel good about that, and everybody stopped taking cold drinks and chocolates after 1 month. They told, yes, fine, you're not taking because Prabhupada is saying, and now we'll also not take. So that's the system to help others. If we in ISKCON, what happens? You bang people. Don't do this, 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 don't do this. It doesn't work like that. You follow. Sometimes you don't advise people unless they ask, no. You follow yourself, people get inspired by seeing you, and then they take up things. That's also a very good system. But then you have to follow properly. You can't say, okay, I don't eat chocolates, but at least once a month. But even a small deviation from your principles will not have any effect. You have to follow pakka. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. You have to follow and then teach. So that's what Krishna is doing. He's following and teaching. That is Acharya. Acharya follows and teaches. So whatever you want to teach, you must follow. If you want to teach humility, you should be humble. If you want to teach preaching, you should preach. If you want to teach book distribution, you should go for book distribution. You know what? In Vedic culture, when there was a war, what used to happen? The king, right at the front. Prabhupada says in Bhagavatam. And now what's happening? The commander, military commander, is in the control room. Go ahead. And they're saying, what, In Second World War, this happened, Japan, Second World War. So the people, they were sitting in control room, and they said, okay, go ahead, and, planes. And actually Japanese, they had a technology that if plane would come to a certain distance, below a certain distance, they can track the plane and shoot. So these guys who were flying the plane, they could understand, we can't go below this distance because they can track us. But people who are in control room, they had no idea that the Japanese had special missiles. They had invented special missiles which can go up to a certain distance. So they could see, there are few of the military people, they died. So they were arguing with control room people. See, we can't go below this distance. They have special guns. They can track us and shoot us. We should be above this point. But from control room, people were saying, no, you should go down and bomb and everything. And that's how many of these Germans, many of the Germans, their planes got crashed, and that's how they started declining. It's recorded in the history. They had a very heavy loss. So that's the point. They're sitting in control room. But Vedic age, kings were right in the front. And then people used to follow. Then people got courage. Napoleon, he was right at the front. He was in the war. That's what leaders are. That's how we should be. We should be right at the front. We can't say people go for book distribution. What we are doing? We are not going. It doesn't work like that. You have to be with them. Then people get enthused, encouraged. And that's what Krishna is teaching us. Krishna is himself teaching us. He doesn't need to follow. He can order us. No. He can say do and we should follow. He's God. But he knows we are humans. We'll not do like that. If you don't follow, no chance. I'm not doing. That's all. You don't do, why should I do? So God also comes, he follows. And that's the principle which God is teaching in this verse. We should understand that principle. But we should not follow everything. Krishna is making gopis friends. We can't make so many gopis with us now. In India, there's a trend coming, They say, Krishna kare to leela, ham kare to character dhila. These people are saying, if Krishna dances with so many girls, it is his pastime. And if we dance with so many girls, it is immoral. So it's a sarcastic comment. So they say, so Krishna is doing pastimes, we will also do our pastimes. And that's a plea in India, We can't imitate God. It's impossible. Yeah. Oh, by the way, just a minute. I just remember. This compassion. We were talking about compassion. So somebody asked Prabhupada, we should be compassionate to everybody. We should be compassionate. But Prabhupada said, don't try to imitate God. God can be compassionate to everybody. We have to be compassionate, but more than that, we should understand what is service of God. That's more important, not compassion. In the name of compassion, we can't leave service of God. That's very important to understand. We can't hamper service of God. Wherever it is required to serve God, and you don't need to be compassionate, just forget it. That's all. Just like Prabhupada, many scientists used to come to meet Prabhupada. What Prabhupada used to say to scientists? You are rascals. Prabhupada used to say to scientists meeting Prabhupada, and Prabhupada saying, you are rascal. Prabhupada could have said, yes, be compassionate. They are scientists. Oh, you are good, nice. At least you are doing something good. But no. Service of God demands we should speak truth. So my dear scientist, you're not that good person. What to do? Not all scientists are bad. Scientists are also good people. But some scientists are really bad people. They propagate wrong atheistic theories. And it confuses people. So Prabhupada used to say. Yeah, what did you want to ask?
I had a question, please.
Oh, it was just about, is there some Vaishnav similar ritual to the Shraddha? Vaishnav version?
Of Shraddha?
Yeah, or just like when someone dies.
Ancestors, when someone dies? When someone dies, our system is do kirtan. That's all, nothing else.
Because some temples, could they see it as preaching? Because it seems like some temples do that for people who aren't practicing fully, the whole thing.
We should not do. Yeah.
A little bit.
The point is, we can help people elevating them by giving them faith in Prabhupada. Not by putting our ideas. It will help them. Just like, Vyasadeva also did a wrong thing. He did a mistake. Bhagavatam it comes. Vyasadeva thought that I'll write scriptures which will help people. He wrote so many scriptures. And Narad Muni, spiritual master, comes and he tells, Vyasa, you did something wrong, That's a blunder. He wrote scriptures and he wrote, if you do devotion, you'll get this benefit. He was thinking people, if we give people some benefit, they will come to God. You come to God, you will have this benefit, this benefit. But Narad Muni told, you did a wrong thing, because people will be lost in the benefit and they'll forget God. You write a book, Srimad Bhagavatam, where you clearly tell, don't come to God for any benefit. Come to God to love Him. That's all. Finish. Then he wrote this. So our job is to get people's faith in teachings. And teachings will help them. We can't. Our ideas cannot. That's what I think.
I was a little confused about being not imitating God, because if He is infallible, perfect, and well-meaning in all of His actions, should you not strive to be more like Him? Should you not strive to be more like Krishna?
Yeah, that's what Prabhupada says. You can't imitate everything about God, no.
But you can try, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So what actions you have to imitate, what actions you should not imitate, that you have to ask, or it's written in scriptures. For example, Krishna is omniscient. He knows everything. So should we try to know everything? We'll go crazy.
Is it not a good aspiration though to work towards that?
No, our aspiration is not to know everything. Our aspiration is to serve Him. That's all. If we try to know everything, you can go mad. You try to then we'll try to understand physics, chemistry, biology. Krishna understands everything, no?
What is the quintessence of the Renaissance man, though?
Yeah, and that's why Renaissance brought industrialization. And what's happening? Everybody is.
So each Renaissance man brought industrialization. Now I feel like the Renaissance person would gain enlightenment through many knowledges.
You know what? Okay, fine. Renaissance also produced philosophers like Nietzsche. And Nietzsche told Superman, Uberman, and what happened? If you try to become Superman, what happened to Nietzsche? He mad. He can become mad. So this concept, it's not bad to find things, to inquire. That's not bad. But to have ideas that I'll know everything and I'll become perfect, you can become mad. That will not help you to satisfy.
I think the difference is that there isn't an end, because we are human. We can't possibly know everything.
Yeah.
It is. I'm trying to, I guess, say that it's not bad to imitate Krishna and God and spiritual leaders. I think it's to follow and to preach, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what.
Your following is your preaching.
We should understand our limits.
Yeah.
That's what spiritual master will tell you.
Okay.
What is your limit?
So it's understandable. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily don't.
No. Prabhupada says you can imitate God, but you should understand your limits.
Okay.
What is your limit? Otherwise we go mad.
Yeah.
That's what is happening now. We'll do this, we'll do that, and people will become mad. That's the idea. That's what spiritual master helps us to understand. Okay, fine. You don't have, your limit is this. Do this much in that limit. You'll be happy. Continue. That's okay. Okay, so anything else? I think I have to leave at 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's time. After some time. So